What's up? We're back with another episode. Charged Up Pod. It's been a while. I ain't recorded in a minute. Been really busy. If you ain't done it already, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Give me a like. Go ahead and comment on this video. Chop it up with me. Share the page. Tell a friend. Tell a friend. But couple of things I want to get into. Certain hot topics right now, and a couple of things I want to touch on that have passed already, as far as like the NFL free agency, more specifically my team, my Chargers, off season, rumblings of what we may do with the 5th pick in the draft, current in the NBA with the playoffs about to start. It's a week away from the playoffs, 2 days away from end of the regular season. My Cavaliers are currently the 4th seed. If the playoffs will start today, we will be playing the Pacers. I think we're the 3rd seed. With the 3rd seed, we'll be playing the Magic, first round. I actually want the Magic. We'll get into that. But what I want to start this video out with is I got a new segment I want to start. Curious case. I actually got 2 curious cases about certain 2 individuals. Curious case is something I want to start to focus on and tap into a specific topic. And right now, specifically, what I want to, the 2 individuals that I want to tap into is 1, Caitlin Clark, and 2, Bronny James. Both going to the draft. Bronny is still potentially leaving his name in the portal. He may return back to college. But I want to start out with Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark is probably will go down as one of the greatest, well, ain't no probably, she is going down as one of the greatest college basketball players ever, both men and women. Undoubtedly top 5 women of all time in college. Hopefully that translates to the league. I believe it will under certain conditions. But I believe that the thing with Caitlin Clark is it's not even on the court type thing. Like, her hype has been probably MJ-esque when the Dream Team went to Barcelona in '92. When the Dream Team went to Barcelona in '92, people don't understand that that mark made the game more of a global type of game. And David Stern saw that, and he tapped into that and started to push for European and international players to have development and be able to showcase their skills to be able to play in the NBA also. And now fast forward to 2024, what we have today, where the international players are some of the top guys in the league. So I'm not talking about Caitlin Clark as her game is like MJ, but her impact on the women's game is going to be like how MJ's was when he made an impact with the NBA. At the time, Magic and Bird were like the top guys, and by the time that MJ was drafted, MJ was a new kid on the block. He came in a couple years and just took over everything. The year 1987, 1988, where MJ just took everything over. Like, he was goated after that year. Like, from the dunk contest to the MVP to the defensive player of the year to his skill set, and averaging 37 points a game that year also, to where his skill set just catapulted over everyone's in the league. At that point, people knew he was the best in the league. So when I say the impact of Caitlin Clark is going to do for the women's game is going to make it more of a marketable game. It's going to make it more of a inciting type of game to watch. Caitlin has that effect on the women's game that MJ had in the men's game. And already the Indiana Fever, who's projected to draft her with the number one overall pick, their ticket sales have increased by, I think, 120%. Something crazy like that, and their ticket sale, their average ticket is now roughly $200 a ticket. Season tickets have already sold out. Indiana is really excited to have her. I do believe that the mixture of her and last year's Rookie of the Year, Aaliyah Boston, is going to be a great tandem. I love Aaliyah Boston's game. She's a great low post player. When you have a great low post player and a great passer, besides a guard that's able to make plays, you got something. Kind of like Kobe Shaq-esque kind of thing. I'm not saying Aaliyah Boston and Caitlin Clark are going to be that, but it's going to be fun to watch. Bet that. I believe the Fever has 36 nationally televised games this year. I believe that may be a record for the women's WNBA. And just her impact, that's what she's going to have on the game, and it's going to make waves for so many more to come in and do the same after her. Juju Watkins will be there in a couple of years. Paige Buckers when she comes out. And with the impact that Caitlin Clark is having, she is getting equally the same amount of hate from former WNBA players, current WNBA players, current pundits in the media talking about how, the negativity surrounded by her, and it just certain people just don't like her. I don't know why. She is so cold. I think we do know why. But with Caitlin's case, she has the ability to turn the clock on the women's game to where it's more of an enjoyable brand of basketball. Because right now, it's a great brand of basketball if you're not a casual fan. If you're a true basketball fan and you just love hoop, the women's game is great. Like, just watching the WNBA, how they play great basketball. And that's what the NBA has kind of lost, where it's more freestyle, and the WNBA is more team-centric, and it's more styles that have to match a certain player, because there's been plenty of top picks that came in and are considered busts because they don't fit the style of the WNBA, because they were great individuals, but then they don't fit the team. You see how that goes, i.e. Charlotte Collier a few years ago, but hers also mixed with injuries. But Caitlin Clark has the ability to come in and just make those waves. And what I hope doesn't happen to her is when she gets to the league, she has a coach. I don't know the current coach of the Fever right now, but I hope she doesn't get a coach that stops her from being her. You know what I mean? Let her be her. Let her be free. The freestyle type of basketball that we saw her play in college, I hope she's able to make that same type of those plays in the W. If they let her do that, oh my gosh. Because so many other teams, especially if they're winning at the same time, I guarantee they'll win. But other teams will start to adapt that. Every sports league is a copycat league. So when they see something work, they try to follow the thing. Look at the NBA right now. Steph Curry and the Warriors won in 2014. Like, every team has changed that to we need shooters everywhere. So Caitlin Clark can maybe match that on the W side. And I'm hoping that she can, because just the entertainment value for casual fans, I'm not talking about true basketball fans, I'm talking about casual fans that are just, something you want to take your kids to see the game. They'll come see that. Definitely, especially if they're letting Caitlin Clark pull up from 35 feet and let her do her thing that she was doing in Iowa. I don't know if any rookie has ever had that type of green light, but if she does, she'll be amazing. But it's just exciting for the women's game, just period. I believe the top 5 picks was currently projected to be Caitlin Clark, Cameron Brink, Camila Cardozo. I forget the other 2, but I know that Angel Reese is in the top 10. I know that it is excitement with this draft class. So these women can come in and just make an immediate impact on their teams. As far as fit goes for Caitlin, the style game of the W does not fit the exact style of Caitlin Clark. She is able to adjust, because watching her game, she is an elite passer. She makes the right plays at all times. I'm talking about how many times she's getting blitzed coming out of a pick and roll, how many times She has pressure on her, and she does not make the bad play ever. And she's a big body. She's 6 foot, and she's kind of a bigger woman making those kind of plays out there, and just her ability to shoot. I believe the only flaw in her game will probably be her defense, maybe. And if you want to nitpick at her game a little bit more, I'm not gonna say she doesn't have it, but she doesn't do more of an in-between game. So let's say she's struggling shooting from 3. She's gonna have to work in between that free throw line, the near area. Can she make shots from, little floaters, or, being able to make certain plays in from the 3-point end? We haven't seen that much of her to do those things, but just she makes great plays at all times. So definitely excited to see that, and I don't know if they do it, but I hope she's able to make the women's Olympic team this year for the Olympics, because, like I said, the MJ effect, when he went to Barcelona in '92, and just the global impact of how that affected the game globally, I believe she can make that same impact with her style of play. Being on the Olympic team this year, 2024, the Summer Olympics, being with the women, she doesn't have to play, but just the fact that she's on that team and they're blowing the team out, and she can get in and pull up, make a couple shots from deep, let her do her thing. Like, y'all don't know the marketing that's going to help for the league, period. Because we definitely want to see these women shine. Next, currently, that's the first curious case. Second curious case, Bronny James. So, I heard the questions people asking: is he a pro? Is he not a pro? Is he good? Is he not good? Is he living just riding his dad's name? Is he doing this? I heard all this stupid stuff. Actually watching him play in the little time he got to play, I'm not thinking about his stats. Forget the 5 points, the 3 rebounds, 2 assists. I'm not looking at that. I'm not even looking at his shooting splits. If you have the eye test and actually watch him play, seeing his effort level, seeing how he's a hustler, the intangibles that he has with his game, the things that you don't have to teach. You have to beg guys to do those certain type of things, and he just naturally does it. He has those instincts of his father. He has the ability to be able to make passes. Like, he is a great playmaker. At 6'4" with shoes on, his ability to jump, his vertical is amazing. His athleticism is through the roof. He does have a consistent stroke to be able to shoot. I like his ability to shoot, and he's LeBron James' son. You don't think he's gonna have a work ethic with him? Come on now. Like, I'm actually proud of the way that he's carried himself with the pressure that he's been facing throughout all this. He has not been giving many statements publicly. He has played under the pressure. He is performing, and people forget he had a cardiac episode last year, and still played in this season. That right there is an accomplishment in itself, just to be on the court. And his defense is great. His like I said, his effort, just period. That's just something you cannot teach. If you watch guys in the league, that's something that's kind of rare. So when you have guys like that, i.e. a Pat Bev, i.e. a Bobby Portis, i.e. Old school Tony Allen, guys that's trying to get after it, you need those kind of guys on your team. Draymond Green, guys they're just so intangibly sound to be able to make plays without even asking. Bronny would be a great pro. My ceiling for him, well, it's not my ceiling, but just watching the game and just watching how things play out, I believe his ceiling would be a Drew Holiday. Same body type, same balance, same kind of stability with their core. They play great defense. They're kind of like roughhouse type of guys. They get after the ball. They're making dives on the floor. They're guarding the best players. Drew Holiday had that same type of archetype. And I'm not comparing the two, saying that Bronny's going to play out like Drew Holiday, but what I am saying is that Bronny does have the same type of archetype as Drew Holiday. Height, 6'4", weight around the 205, 220 range. Being able to, and actually Bronny is actually more athletic than Drew at this age. Drew was cold at that age. So seeing how this will play out with Bronny, it's not about his skill set right now. It's not about his stats right now. Bronny's biggest thing is fit. There's 3 teams that come to mind that would be perfect fits for Bronny right now, because the college game, he shouldn't go back to college because the college game can do nothing for him. College game is not is not like the women's college where it's more individual play. In the women's game, the women's stars are actually able to be free. You know, they have an independence to their game in the women's side. But on the men's side, it's more coaching style. My coaching style. Do you fit my coaching style? That's typically the guys that play the best in college. You know, do you fit my coaching style? That's why guys like Zach Edey, who was a 2-time back-to-back player of the year, is not even projected to be lottery. You know, guys like Zach Edey, a few years ago, Luke Garza was the top player in the country, and they just didn't make the jump of the league because they played a college structure. Bronny doesn't fit into that, and if he goes back to college, he's going to fall into that same thing. So right now, I believe the best bet for Bronny would be going to a team with best fit. His best fit would be 3 teams right now. Best teams for developing young players, young talent, the teams that do the best work. Right now, it would be one, he's already familiar with the city, Miami. They probably are second to none. They probably are the best they have the best development team in the NBA. Bronny with Miami, the way that they're conditioned, the way that they had the expectation of hard work, the way that they train, the way that Pat Riley and guys like Udonis Haslem, who is currently the vice president for player development of the Miami, they have that structure so where Bronny will come in and he will thrive in that system. And he has a great coach with Eric Spoelstra. That is #1 option for Bronny, Miami Heat. And it's not even about him getting drafted. He can go undrafted and then he can choose where he wants to go. I guarantee you that Miami is one of those teams because Miami is the best fit. And then if Brian keeps up to his promise, saying he won't play with his son, I can see Brian going back to Miami. And then that's that. I actually believe that Miami team currently, if you add LeBron is senior to that team is better than the current Laker team, and they're in the East. That Miami team was just in the finals twice in the past 4 years. So I can see adding Bron to that will be possible championship. But with Bronny, that's the first team. That'll be first option. Second option would be the San Antonio Spurs with Greg Popovich and the way that they have. The only problem with the San Antonio is they have a lot of young talent they're trying to develop right now. And Victor Wembanyama, who is probably the rookie of the year. No, that's not probably. He's definitely the rookie of the year. The development with the players there, you have guys like Keldon Johnson. You have Devin Vassell, who are good players, good young players, good young talent. People forget that Keldon Johnson was on the Olympic team in 2021 when the COVID year. But the Spurs could be a close second behind Miami for Bronny's development. I believe Bronny would thrive in that environment. I believe him and Victor would mesh pretty well because the way that Bronny plays, Bronny will give Vic the ball for sure. Just watching the Spurs play, you can see a lot of the guys. They did. First of all, I don't believe San Antonio was putting the right point guards in spots to. They started off the season with Jeremy Sohan being the point guard. He's not a true point guard. He's not even a point guard at all. They were just testing it out, which was cool because they thought it was a wasted season anyway, so they do what they want. But I believe that they should have started maybe Devontae Graham or Trey Jones from the beginning. But Bronny was fitting well with the Spurs system as far as developing young talent. Bronny can thrive there. There's no high expectations because they're not a great team right now. So he can come in and be able to grow with that team. That would be number 2. Number 3 is another team that has a lot of young talent. And they really just sold everything this year. Would be the Toronto Raptors. The Raptors have a great system. They have a great young talent, young core. I don't know what direction they're kind of trying to go right now because, they drafted for Emmanuel quickly and RJ Barrett, and they got rid of Pascal Siakam. At the time, it was looking like they were kind of buying and they're trying to maybe make a push, but then when Scotty Barnes went down, it was kind of like, oh, we're just gonna tank the season. So I can't really give a full assessment on Bronny going to the Raptors, but as of right now, I believe they got their guy at point guard which would be Emmanuel quickly. So Bronny, I don't know if Bronny would be able to thrive over there. And that's one more thing on Bronny though. So that's on 3 teams would be great development, great places for Bronny to thrive in the league. Miami 1, San Antonio 2, Toronto 3. Because it's not about his draft pick right now. It's about fit. His team already came out and said it's about fit, and that's the 3 best fits right now for Bronny. But one more thing on Bronny is I want to know, what position is he truly? Is he a point guard, a big point guard, or is he a small shooting guard? Because these point guards coming in nowadays are 6'6", 6'7", 6'8", shout out LaMelo Ball. But those guys are tall, taller. And if you don't have that it factor, if you're like 6'3", 6'2", 6'1", and shorter, if you don't have that it factor, it's going to be hard for point guards of the future that are that height. If you don't have over 42-inch vertical, if you don't have a stroke like Steph Curry, if you don't have the ability to get to the rack like Ja Morant at that height, it's going to be pretty hard for guys like that anymore going forward. So I believe Bronny will be a greater point guard than he will be a shooting guard. He can definitely play the point. His decision making, his IQ is something you can't teach. You can't teach that. That's naturally in him, his decision making. And I believe he'll be able to come in and help a team. I wouldn't say immediately, but he'll be able to help a team. You get him around NBA locker rooms. You get him with an NBA training staff. You get him with a team development player, coach of development. If you get him around structure to where it's every day now, I believe Bronny will live up to that and put in the work. So that's my 2 curious cases. I want to go on to the next thing, which will be, what do I want to say? I wanted to talk about my Chargers. Los Angeles Chargers. We finished the season with Justin Herbert out. He was hurt. I believe we finished the season 5-12. It was 5-12 or 4-13. It was one of them. It was terrible. We got the 5th pick in the draft. So we had a little conundrum coming into the offseason, which was we were over a salary cap. 2 things have happened, were major things. One, the NFL increased the salary cap. Great. 2, we had a fire sale on our best talent on offense. And we didn't touch. It was just some things that I wish we would have did that we didn't do. I'm glad we got rid of Mike Williams. Mike Williams just doesn't, his injuries mixed with his ability to not make that from coming from Clemson, I thought Mike Williams would be one of those ones. He just haven't fit that in the NFL with the Chargers. He had that one breakout year. He had like 81 catches, 1,100 yards. But it was just, it's like it was something that's just not glowing to me. Like you have young guys come in like Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase, rookie year, they're doing it. I wanted Mike Williams to do that, and it's been kind of disappointing. I'm not gonna say he's a bad player because I believe that he's going to do great over there where he's at now. Like he's just doesn't fit us anymore, and then he costs too much at the same time. So I believe that it was the Jets. The Jets got him one. They got them one over there with him, and I just believe I'm glad we made that move. I'm not so glad that we made the move of letting go Keenan. I understand he's older in age, but certain things that's in Keenan Allen's game, you can't teach how to get open. As slow as Keenan Allen moves, he has a knack for getting open. That's not something that's common in the NFL amongst receivers, especially with receivers that doesn't have that kind of speed. Like he has a knack for getting open. Keenan Allen's gonna play great with Chicago. Nice slot receiver. Having DJ Moore there on the other side, it's gonna be dangerous when they put DJ Moore and Keenan Allen on the same side. I still don't believe Chicago should have let go Justin Fields because I wanted to see how that worked. I think Chicago's biggest thing is just coaching, but we're not talking about Chicago right now. We're talking about my Chargers. So I am glad that we got Mike out of there, saved some money on him. I'm glad that we kind of balanced the books a little, letting him and Keenan go, but I wish we would have swapped Keenan for Joey Bosa. Here's why. Joey Bosa is valuable. Joey Bosa is a great player. Joey Bosa is not Nick Bosa. That's my problem with Joey Bosa. He's not his brother. And it sucks. Like the Chargers, we were I think they were drafted 2 years apart. We were 2 years too early on drafting the Bosa brother. I believe we could have got a lot for Joey Bosa, trading him away. We kept him, like his production hasn't been the same as his brothers. And I think I'm just being unfair right now, trying to hold him to the same standard as his brother, but it's like come on, dude. It's like just seeing him, it's like he's so talented, man. I really want you to be able to do these things for this team and take this defense to the top. Like the Chargers were in the bottom half of the league. I think we were like 29th or 30th in the rushing defense. I do love that we got to keep Khalil Mack. My thing about the team is I didn't like the John Harbaugh hire. I did not like the John Harbaugh hire. I didn't like letting Keenan Allen go, and I did not like keeping Joey Bosa. It was Jim Harbaugh. The Jim Harbaugh hire is a problem for me because Jim Harbaugh's style of play has always been run. We don't have the personnel with the Chargers to run. We haven't had a 1,000-yard rusher back-to-back seasons since 2011. I think the last 1,000-yard rusher was like 2014 or something. That was Ryan Matthews. So we don't have the personnel to run. Then hiring Greg Roman, coming from Baltimore, he's coming in saying we're going to run. We don't have the personnel for that. Even Austin Eckler wasn't even a 1,000-yard rusher like that. He's not a 20-carry type of running back, and we let him go. And we did pick up Gus Edwards. I mean, I like the small height but big bowling ball type of guy. I do believe that Jim Harbaugh is going to try to go get Blake Corum from Michigan. That would be a nice 1-2 punch, but just the personnel of the Chargers team, we haven't had that rushing type of style in so long. And the reason why I don't like the Jim Harbaugh and Greg Roman pickup is because Justin Herbert. I believe it's going to affect Justin Herbert so much to where I have Justin Herbert arm talent at the top of the league. Just strictly arm talent. I'm not talking about wins. I'm not talking about playoff wins. I'm not talking about team accomplishments. If you look at the way that Justin Herbert plays, his ability to pass the ball, his ability to escape pressure, his ability to be accurate under pressure, his ability to be accurate on the run, it's beautiful. I go in the league, it's Patrick Mahomes 1A, Justin Herbert 1B. I really believe those are the top two quarterbacks in the NFL. And if you don't believe what I'm saying, forget about stats. Forget about team wins. Go look at look at the film. Look at the tape and look at Justin Herbert making plays. Look at Justin Herbert with the talent he has compared to a Patrick Mahomes and compared to a Joe Burrow, compared to all these other quarterbacks that has the personnel. You know, Justin Herbert doesn't have a Travis Kelce. Justin Herbert doesn't have a Tyreek Hill. You know, so being able to put him into that system and he's making plays like that with Keenan Allen, who is a Hall of Famer. I believe Keenan Allen is the first ballot Hall of Famers. And if you don't believe me, compare Keenan Allen's stats to Julio Jones. You will not be disappointed. Justin Herbert is a big tight end away. I don't like the tight end pickups that we got. We got Will Dissly and we got another guy. I forgot Hayden Hurst. We got some tight ends that haven't been those guys. You know, we're picking up these tight ends that are more run blockers, and we're really trying to force the run. I get putting emphasis on the run, but I don't get forcing the run for the team because we don't have the personnel for that. I do believe that the play action will open up a lot with Justin. He will be able to make more plays out of the play action, which would be cool, but we got to be able to have a run game to match Justin Herbert's arm talent. If you look at the way that Jim Harbaugh has ran his teams, even with the 49ers, if you can go back to the 49er years, they were running the ball with Raheem Mostert, with Colin Kaepernick, with these guys. They were just running it, you know? And then they actually had a Vernon Davis at tight end to where they can get the ball to a guy like him. They were running the heck out of that ball. So I actually want what the Chargers to do with that fifth pick. I actually want us to go take Brock Bowers. If Marvin Harrison Jr. doesn't fall to us, if Marvin Harrison Jr. does not fall to the Chargers at 5, I hope that we go take Brock Bowers from tight end from Georgia. He may be a little undersized for the position, but he is so talented. He is one of those, I would say Brock Bowers is one of those immediate impacts at the tight end position. Whoever gets him, they got a special one. His route running at that size, his ability to catch, his ability to make the chip plays on the block coming off the line, he is special. And I hope the Chargers get him because we haven't had a tight end like that since Antonio Gates retired. We actually haven't had a running back like great running back since the Daniel Thompson had retired. And I honestly believe we kind of cursed at those two positions, the tight end and running back, because those two positions were so great for so long. We had arguably a top 3 tight end ever and a top 3 running back. Like, that's just, you know, we had both of them and we haven't replaced those guys. It was just big shoes to fill. We haven't had those guys since. But I just hope the Chargers make a great play at that draft at number 5. I hope we do not trade down. If we do trade down, I hope we still get Brock Bowers within the top 10. But it's only if Marvin Harrison Jr. does not fall to 5. If Marvin Harrison messes around and drops to 5, all bets off. But yeah, that's the Chargers. But the draft is in 2 weeks, and we're gonna see what we do day 1. Back on the NBA side, my Cleveland Cavaliers. We are at the time of this taping, we are currently 4th seed, 3rd seed. No, we're 4th seed. Yeah, we're 4th seed. And we are, I believe we're 47-33. 47-33. At the 4, it's us. At the 5, it's the Pacers. It might be the Magic. I'm getting those two mixed up at the 5 and 6, so they keep flip-flopping. I actually want, because right now we're kind of getting guys back healthy. Evan Mobley just came back from a sprained ankle. Donovan Mitchell just returned to the lineup about 4 games ago. Darius Garland is still getting his rhythm back from being gone. Jared Allen has been balling out for us. Our MVP this season, the Cavaliers MVP, is Jared Allen. Jared Allen has been keeping us afloat. He's been the most healthy. He's been the one to where his consistency, grabbing rebounds, getting blocks. I hope he's in the Defensive Player of the Year discussion as far as top 3 finalists with Wembanyama and Rudy Gobert. But Jared Allen has carried us with guys being gone out with injury. But I believe our best matchup for the first round would be the Orlando Magic. I necessarily don't want to see the Knicks again this year in the playoffs. But even though I believe we will have a chance to beat the Knicks this year, contrary to last year, because Julius Randle is out for the season. I do hope that the Cavaliers are able to get the Magic in the first round. Or the Pacers, either one. But I prefer the Magic because we're the inexperienced team, but they're more inexperienced. It'll be a lot of those, I believe it'll be all those guys on that team's first time in the playoffs. I believe the only player on that team that's been to the playoffs that's actually in their rotation would be, I don't even know Wendell Carter Jr. has even been to the playoffs with the Bulls. I think Wendell Carter Jr. is the only player on that team that's been to the playoffs. So I believe getting the Magic in the first round would be great for us, so we can baptize Paolo and Franz Wagner in the playoffs, get them their first taste of the playoffs, and we can kick them out the first round. At the 4, we'll probably play Boston second round. I don't know. Boston has problems, and here's why. Boston's problem is the same problem it was when they were in the finals with the Warriors back in 2021. 2022. It was one of those years. 2022. Their problem is they rely too heavily on jump shots. They are a jump shooting team. And I said this back then when they were in the finals. They're going to lose to the Warriors because, 1, the Warriors are more experienced, and 2, all else fails. Where Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are not hitting jump shots, their best play is in the post game. They go away from the post so much, it's like they forget they're 6'7" and 6'8", 6'9", 6'10", however tall they are. They forget that they have that in their arsenal. And they are so lethal in the post to where they do it so seldomly. When they actually go to it, they're really efficient. Both Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. Now, when they have guys like Drew Holiday on the team who can also post up, and Porzingis, the unicorn, who can also post up, I want them to know that they can go to that post. That's why I believe they won't go far. They're not winning the championship because they rely too heavily on the jump shooter. And those guys are lethal in the post and they don't do it as much as they should. And everybody knows, seeing the Houston Rockets a few years ago, 26 missed straight threes and 23 straight missed threes. Like, when you live by the 3, you die by it. And the Celtics right now are living by the 3. Great record, best record in the league. Only 60-win team in the league. But they're going to fail because of that, But I believe this is going to be an exciting playoffs. I believe the Chargers will figure their things out on the draft, and I want them to make me look, kind of like, okay, I know what I'm talking about. And then the Cavaliers, I believe the Cavaliers will get past the first round, whether it's the Magic or the Pacers. Then with Pacers, is Tyler Halliburton even, the same guy from the play-in? Not play-in, but play-in in-season tournament. But if we can get past Orlando, I believe we'll have enough momentum going into the next round, which will probably be Boston. And I believe we can beat Boston just like Miami did. It'll be ugly games to beat them. You need ugly games to beat Boston. They need to get out of their rhythm, which they probably will, because the game is going to slow up, and they're going to rely on that three too much. But they do have an equalizer in Drew Holiday this year, so I'm excited to see how that's going to look. But my Cavaliers, I'm not saying we're going to win the championship, but we getting out the first round this year for sure. I don't know if Donovan is going to stay with the Cavaliers. I believe if he was going to stay, he would have signed an extension already. That's just what I believe. I believe he would have signed an extension already if he was going to stay. He probably was thinking Supermax if he would have made the All-NBA team, but he's disqualified because I think he's only, so far as of this recording, he's only played 54 games, and the 65 minimum limit. But yeah, I believe that the East is wide open. The Knicks are playing great though. Boston is playing great, but I believe Boston will run into that shooting slump during the playoffs. One series, it's gonna take 2 or 3 games. Just 2 or 3 games of bad shooting, and that's what's gonna knock them out. Then I don't believe in Joe Mazzulla's coaching. He's shown time and time again that he's not the coach for them guys. Ime Udoka was the perfect coach for that team. And now he's doing great in Houston. Yeah, that's basically what I just wanted to get into today. Tell me how y'all like it. Like I said, it's the first time I'm doing a curious case. Don't forget to like the video, wear a comment, top it up with me, share the page, share the video, tell a friend, subscribe to the channel if you ain't done it already, and like that, we out.